Hello, my name is Veronika, and this is a podcast on soul connection. So in this part, we are going to talk about the soul and relationships. And I see clients who come to me, and they want to know, okay, who is the one? Where do I find the one? Or should I stay with my wife, with my husband, with my partner, or should I look for somebody else? Or I have this difficulty with my mother-in-law or with my sister, or I don't know, many things. And they ask basically, how do I get what I want from my relationships? How do I feel better in my relationships? And what the soul does, how the soul looks at the relationships is from a little bit different direction. For many people, relationships are more like trail or the journey, or it's more like solid way we perceive the reality. This is my mom, this is the way she works for me, this is my dad, this is what happened between me and my dad, and this is our relationship. But what soul says is, look at your relationships like the way you experience this world. And for example, when you are looking for the one person, for your partner, for the next partner, don't ask for, you can ask for this later, but first, when you do your checklist of things the partner should have, first ask yourself, how can I show up fully with who I am in my relationships? Because what soul wants you to do, if you ever should do something, is to be fully present with who you are, with what are your gifts, what is your light. And especially when you are searching for the new partner, it's very important that you include all of your parts to the search. Your spiritual gifts, the gifts you don't consider that spiritual, like every part of you should be included in searching for the one. Because many times when we search and we become desperate in this search, we immerse with fear. It's hard for ourselves to see our own light, and we forget about ourselves, and we see the other person as our goal, as the approval of this reality that we are worthy. But our soul asks us to be present with everything we are in this relationship and also in the search for it. So if you feel incomplete, and if you feel like there is a hole in your field which should be fulfilled with the other person, first you need to ask yourself, how can I be fully me? How can I be complete me? And no matter what is it, if you left out your spiritual gifts or the gifts you were experiencing when you were little, but you don't live them anymore. Some people love to, to have a lot of love. Some people want to enjoy their life in fullest, and they just forget about it when they are adult. Your soul calls you to be fully yourself. Yeah, basically with every gift. And before you start searching, or meanwhile you search for the one, just accept all the parts of you and use them for the full creation of your reality. And if you are asking for the relationship which already exists, your soul asks you to try to look at your partner from the point of your soul. just imagine the most beautiful light in your partner and be with this light and see what happens. Because sometimes when we get into this routine in the relationship, we forget why we are with this person in the first place. And we look at this person through our fears, through our learned behavior, and we forget our own light and also the light of the other person. So when you want to know how to improve the relationship with the other person and you are on your spiritual path, one of the very good things to do is to imagine your partner as a beautiful light or the being of light and just be with it. See, just notice how it makes you feel. And you may notice that you start to see your partner from the point of your soul. And it's a very beautiful point, and it's actually very liberating for yourself and him or her. Because your soul doesn't work in the reality of subconscious blocks or reality of betrayal and so on. And if it does, it can be released. But usually the purest part of the soul, it just doesn't work this way. It looks at everybody through the lens of the soul. So just tune to this point of view whenever you can, and you will experience the change in your relationships. Okay, but what if there is some hard relationship, some arguing with somebody? So what your soul calls you to do when you are having heavy arguments with somebody and you don't see the way out, when you have the moment for yourself, imagine yourself and the other person as beings of light who are communicating through their ego bodies. So in our purest essence, we are beings of light, of course, but we live this reality through our body and also through our ego and our pain body. So when we are in argument with somebody, we obviously don't see the other point. We see the point of our ego and our pain. So what your soul asks you to do is to imagine yourself and the other person as pure beings of light, which are communicating right now through their pain bodies. And just be with this and realize that the majority of this conflict is created by your ego. And at the first point, this can be hard because you are like, no, this other person is guilty of this conflict. It's not me, it's the other person. But really, if you immerse with this vision of yourself and the other person as beings of light, dressed in egos, you can see how you are contributing to the conflict. And if you want, you can ask your higher self to shine some light into the situation. And don't do anything else. Just be present as the light there. Right. So in short, if you experience any struggle with relationships, It doesn't matter if you are looking for the relationship and you cannot find one, or if you want to improve the relationship which is already existing, or if you struggle in the conflict with somebody. Your soul always asks you to be fully yourself, to ask which part of you you leave out from your relationships and include this part to your creation. And if you are already in conflicted situation, just you can ask yourself, which part of me is contributing to this situation, and release this part. Just make the space for it and admit to yourself that you are also the half of this relationship, and let this part go. Okay, so that was a short talk about the soul and the way it sees the relationships. I hope it was helpful for you, and I will see you in the next part. Have a beautiful day. Bye.